Today we're talking about the king of clean in a small compact case, the Roland Jazz Chorus 22. Stick around. How's it going, you guys? My name is Cooper Greenberg here at Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas. Find us online at alamomusic.com. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and like and comment on our videos. If you're interested in becoming an insider, click the link in the description below. So like I said, today we're taking a look at the Jazz Chorus 22 from Roland, sort of a small, iteration of a very famous amp, the JC40. There's also the JC120, bigger versions, but recently we did kind of a video on why you need a small tube amp, and thought it'd be fun to talk about a really great small solid state amp that kind of covers different bases but has a similar vibe in terms of great for practice, great for studio use, and for a small gig probably would do great. The 22 is not the wattage. This is a 30 watt amp, all solid state, and built in. Kind of the reason why the original Jazz Chorus was famous is because of the Roland chorus that is in this amp. So it's a sparkling clean amp. You'll hear in the demo. It's just a really great flat clean tone, but it does have an onboard chorus that is just kind of the most famous. You've heard it on a ton of great records. Think about The Police, Andy Summers, his amp of choice, Robert Fripp, Robert Smith. It's just, a very widely used amp, but not too long ago they put out the 22, which is a small two 6.5-inch speakers, but true stereo, so you can run left and right, or just left if you want to go mono. Has an effects loop. It has foot switch capability for both the reverb and the chorus. And so kind of what I want to do today is, when running through some demos, show you why it's famous for the cleans. So just start off with a completely flat EQs going at 12 o'clock, no reverb, no chorus, with a Ultra Jazz Master, because if you're playing Jazz Chorus, go for Jazz Master, I guess. That makes sense to me. But then add in some reverb because it's got a great onboard digital reverb, and then add in the chorus at different speeds and depths just to kind of get a few choices. So let's run through the demos, and then I'll talk about kind of why I think this would be great for a lot of different players, and why I think, even though it's one of the most famous, maybe the smaller version is kind of underrated. So check out the demo, and then we'll talk about it. you have it. There's a little bit of the Jazz Chorus 22, just some sounds that I really like. I think it works great with those Jazzmaster pickups because they're very mellow, but still having a lot of nice chime. I think it works great, obviously, with something like a Strat. It's been used in a lot of funk records because you just get that really, really bright. It does have a brightness on and off switch, so you can make it extra bright, EQ it to your liking, and then it doesn't have to be as wet of reverb as I used. You can really just kiss it with a little reverb, add a little chorus. It really just makes for a nice dimensional sound. And the cool thing is using that stereo, you know, say you're running through pedals, it takes pedals great, probably takes Boss pedals better than anything because Boss Roland. But say you're running from pedals, you want to go stereo. It's got the 2 speakers, even though it's a small amp. So you can get some cool stereo effects, and the chorus, you know, you can get some really nice pan, swirly kind of stuff. But think about, like, you know, you're practicing at home. It's affordable enough to become your practice amp. It's just, I mean, such a great studio amp for getting really, really clean, almost just straight into the board preamp kind of tones. You're not going to get any distortion or any push being a solid state amp. It's not going to drive the tubes at all. So if you're looking for a sound that's just crystal clean, all of the Jazz Chorus line, you know, JC40, get much louder, JC120 if you're playing an arena, you know. But for a solid state amp, I think a lot of times people talk about tube versus solid state in terms of a tube amp having more warmth, you know, the ability to get push and get some drive and just a certain kind of tone that, you know, a lot of guitar snobs really enjoy. The cool thing about this one is it's probably, you know, there's a ton of great classic solid state amps, but this is probably the most loved, got the most street cred and respect, you know, the Jazz Chorus line for solid state amps, just because the tone itself is just so beautiful. I mean, you can find so many great uses across all genres, cool 80s sounds, funk stuff, really clean blues, really poppy stuff. I think the 1975 newer band, you know, they have made use of this in the studio. It's probably just a great staple for any studio to have, or anybody that just wants a lot of different tones. The onboard effects make it a really great choice for like somebody that's gigging. You know, you don't have to bring a bunch of pedals with you. It's got reverb and chorus, and that's, you know, if you're playing clean, that's a really nice place to start. And in terms of, you know, recording and playing at home and just having something small that's not going to blow your house down, but, you know, we mic'd it up today. I think it sounded really, really nice, and I hope you guys did too. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. If there's any other solid state amps that you think have an equal amount or more respect, you know, there's a lot of new modeling, cool stuff, katanas and quilters, and, you know, all that stuff is really cool, but it's nice to reach a place where now some classic solid state amps have that vintage appeal. It's a really, you know, it got a nice foothold in the amp community. So tell me what you think. Tell me other solid state amps that you'd like us to check out, other amplifiers. I really like doing these where series about small amps, because you don't always have to have a half stack, or you don't always have to have tubes. There's a lot of great options out there, and I think that this one is a really cool amp that maybe doesn't get mentioned enough because people are talking about the 40 all the time being the classic combo. But this one is, you know, I think where it's at, especially with the guitar that we played it with. It's just a fantastic sound. So let us know what you think. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And like I said, we got a bunch of cool stuff on Patreon. Really nice side demos, a lot of Boss effects as well, and just special deals we're running over there. Guitar lessons, all the kind of stuff that you guys are looking for. So check that out, and we'll see you next time.